We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. I am your now perfectly healthy man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my right is the current reigning, defending Scholars of Wrestling champion, who also seems to be quite dapperly dressed, Scholar Tarek. How's it going tonight, sir?
Baron Corbin? Really? No way. No way! Oh, of all the things you could possibly do for Kurt Angle's final match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Baron Corbin.
Yeah, it almost makes you want to just poison somebody. Isn't that right, Scholar Brian?
What are you talking about, Scholar Jeff?
I'm talking the fact that you got caught red-handed, completely admitting to poisoning me and making me miss the show.
I never once straight up said anything like that, okay? He was trying to figure out why you were not there, and I turned my head up to the sky. What proof is that? What proof is that? There is no proof of me doing anything.
What are you talking about? You just said you do what you gotta do. Come on. How is
just
that not
because
true?
I said sometimes you have to do what you gotta do. You're fine. I did nothing that did nothing.
Yeah, now, after I was barfing for 12 hours straight.
That sounds like a personal problem. Don't bring me into your issues.
But what about that other time?
Dude, we don't talk about that time. Okay? I told the dude it was in there, and he drank it anyway. That is not my fault. I take no responsibility for that whatsoever.
Eventually your alibis will catch up to you.
We'll see.
Yes, they will.
They will. Just trying to do whatever you can to get him out of the way.
Hey!
You're just whatever you can to prove
you
yourself
have
to be
no,
the ultimate scholar.
You have no proof of anything.
Oh, and I have plenty of proof.
If
just
you
look
keep
at the video 2 weeks ago.
If you keep talking, watch yourself. Because I didn't do anything to him. He thinks I did because you can't keep your mouth shut. But you keep talking, something might happen to the champion. And then what do you got to do?
Gentlemen, there's a much more reasonable way to resolve these differences, and that will happen at WrestleMania. And I think you both know what I mean. Besides, in the meantime,
if either of you even make it to WrestleMania.
Oh, trust me,
I'm the
only one of the three of us who's actually going to make it to WrestleMania.
You think?
I feel so threatened on all sides.
I know.
I feel so threatened on all sides. Is that an earthquake? But anyway, we've got a lot to talk about this week in wrestling. And of course, if there's going to be a quality episode of Scholars of Wrestling, we have to do this the right way with a little bit of backstage news.
Indeed. We shall go ahead and peek behind the curtain and find people who are willing to accept the dangers that they have on fellow co-hosts and check in on a little
backstage news. What's poison mint?
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that.
Iocane. I bet my life on it.
Speaking of betting your life on something, I'm not sure. Have you guys heard this? That apparently WWE is finally selling Titan Towers.
Yes.
And moving to a new location.
Okay.
In Stamford, correct?
Let me just...
Not in Stamford, but elsewhere in Connecticut. I don't think they're moving too far.
Let me just put this out there for all you dumbasses on the internet that say that this is an issue. No, it's not. The WWE is fine.
They're just outgrowing Titan Tower.
Exactly. So calm down. Nothing is wrong in this scenario. I don't know why. Have they explained why?
The only explanation that I've heard is that essentially they want to combine everything into one location instead of having just Titan Towers and then some other peripheral locations. Like I said, they're expanding their operations. They want to make everything more self-contained as technology and the means develop. So they're just consolidating everything into one new office space. Now, I didn't hear anything resembling, oh, this is an indication of money troubles for WWE. Obviously, it's not. However,
watch Twitter, you'll find somebody.
I have been watching Twitter, and what I've found more people speculating on is keeping Titan Towers and turning it into a physical location for the WWE Hall of Fame.
That's news to me. I actually haven't heard any of that.
Yeah, same.
It's more of an outpouring of. It's what I've been hearing people asking for.
They definitely
for, but it's not
they
like
definitely should.
I don't think it's.
They
gonna
definitely should. Like it's a landmark. I don't think that you should get rid. I don't think it was a good idea to sell it, to get rid of it. It's a landmark. You could have kept it under your control and then just moved somewhere else, and moved the operation to a different area. As you said, put something in it like a Hall of Fame, or something of that nature. But in order to expand, you need bigger space. I get that. And in order for the business to expand and to be self-contained and all that, makes sense to get a bigger space. But it is a landmark.
Yeah. But I'm not so sure that maintaining all of Titan Towers just for the WWE Hall of Fame, I don't think the Hall of Fame necessarily needs that much space. And even if they did want to maintain a physical Hall of Fame, which I would love that they did, I don't think just keeping and maintaining Titan Towers and paying for all that is necessarily the way to do it, considering most of, if not all of the proceeds of the sale of Titan Towers is likely going to go towards the purchase of the new space. So, I don't think it's going to go down quite like that, but either way, much like the opening of the Performance Center, I am genuinely curious to see what they do with that space, and whether or not they're going to let cameras in, so we can actually see what's going in this brand new, presumably state-of-the-art facility for the WWE.
All I really have to say is we all better go there before they fully move out, just to take one picture in front of it.
Scholars Field Trip?
Scholars Field Trip.
It's not too far from here.
Nah, it's like, what is it, like 45 minutes?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Scholars Field Trip? Let's get pancakes.
All right.
Works for me.
Now, speaking of Scholars Field Trip and things being up in our neck of the woods, this was a rather obscure story that caught my eye, and I felt the need to share it. Of course, we've all heard, as wrestling fans, we've all heard about the tragic passing of one King Kong Bundy.
Yes.
But apparently, I did not realize this, but King Kong Bundy
King Kong Buddy.
King Kong Buddy has a little cat buddy. Or had a little cat buddy. His name was Pat. Now, you're probably asking, why in the hell am I sharing this information? Because, unfortunately, the kitty is up for adoption. And he is up for adoption in our neck of the woods at a PetSmart in Turnersville, New Jersey. So anyone who's listening to this and you want to adopt a cute little kitty that used to be owned by the legendary King Kong Bundy, go down to the PetSmart in Turnersville, New Jersey, and adopt a cute little kitty. Needs a good little home.
Must have been a snow news week.
Or maybe I just like little kitties.
To each their own.
Do you not like kitties?
They're the devil's creatures.
I know you like kitties.
I do like kitties, but I'm more of a dog person.
Indeed.
I do like kitties.
Don't do it for the doggies. Do it for Bundy, man.
I'm allergic to their fur. I will not do it for Bundy.
Do it for the Bundy.
No. I'll let someone else do it for Bundy.
Hunt mug. But in all seriousness, assuming that there hasn't been a taker yet, if you're listening to this and you're in the Turnersville area in our neck of the woods in good old New Jersey, go check out Pat the cat, King Kong Bundy's little kitty. Do him a solid. He needs a good forever home. But anyway, that's enough backstage news. Now we're getting to the meat and potatoes of this week in wrestling. Starting things off with Monday Night Raw and the announcement of the week.
Poison. You think how you were feeling was bad, Jeff? Just wait until this match starts.
Yes. So we're all anticipating the announcement of Kurt Angle's final opponent for his final match at WrestleMania. Kurt Angle comes out. He built it all up, and now he's talking about his final opponent will be Baron Corbin.
Buzz Killington strikes again. All the people.
I've been trying to find some form of positive to get out of this. No. I got nothing.
The only thing
do have one.
The only thing I can think of, okay, not even calling it a positive, just to try to make this choice even make a modicum of sense. Even just a little teeny tiny bit. Okay, there is a tiny bit of history there within the last few months. During Baron Corbin's reign as GM, when Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre were destroying Kurt Angle on a weekly basis. Okay, so it's like storyline-wise, whatever. But, okay, there's only one match that I could see and I could accept as Kurt Angle's final match. This wrestler started his career against Kurt Angle. There's no other reason for him to be on the card, especially now with the United States title match made. There's no other reason for him to be on the card except you started your career against this guy. Now he's going to end his career against you. Kurt Angle, John Cena. Boom. Done. Okay. Instead, we have our shit break match.
The whole rumor going around is that because of such a negative feedback on this, they actually are considering changing this. And it's at making the U.S. title match, which they've actually been building around for Samoa Joe versus John Cena, which is something we've talked about on the show. Mm-hmm. Looks like that idea has to be scrapped. And they're just throwing Kurt Angle with John Cena, which, yes, makes perfect sense, comes full circle. And I hope that's what they go with, because there wasn't any swerve to begin with. This was actually going to be Kurt Angle's farewell match against Baron Corbin.
Yeah, it's like I was looking forward to everything that had to do with WrestleMania the last couple weeks, and they killed like half of the excitement that I had for WrestleMania with the announcement of Baron Corbin as Kurt Angle's last opponent. Ric Flair's last opponent at WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels. An honorable and worthy final opponent for a wrestler of that caliber. Okay, you're going to have, I guess, number 2 in, like, wrestling ability. Like, to have a retirement match at WrestleMania, you're going to have the caliber of opponent be Baron fucking Corbin? Are you out of your damn mind? That's it.
I had one gut instinct when it came to the announcement of this match, and it involves something we've seen from John Cena before. Think back to the WrestleMania where he fought The Undertaker. He kept calling out The Undertaker, nothing happened. Week after week after week went by. Then he showed up as a fan. Then, during the course of the WrestleMania show, he gets word that The Undertaker's here. He accepted the challenge. Immediately goes back. Boom. They have the match there. Now, when I think of what could possibly happen, I called it very early on. If you've been following me on Twitter, you saw it. I called it where the match happens as advertised. Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. Angle beats Corbin in a matter of minutes. Hands raised, all that. Suddenly, Cena's music hits, saying, you know what? You're not going out like that. We're going to start this. We're going to finish it the way we started it. You and me, one last time. Let's go. The real final match. Match picks up. Wrestle, wrestle, wrestle. Cena goes over. Kurt Angle bows out gracefully. Does the job. Rides off in the sunset.
That's probably
I like about 3/4 of that idea. The other quarter is the fact that we still have to see Baron Corbin in a match with Kurt Angle.
That's probably going to happen now.
Yeah.
That's probably what's going to happen now. That's the only way they can really work this in, because they can't really. It's the fact that it's Kurt Angle that chose Baron Corbin, story-wise. Kurt Angle chose Baron Corbin to be his farewell match. That's the only way that you can actually make this fitting for Kurt Angle's farewell. And basically, once the announcement happened, I was trying my best to think, okay, what was there any form of way that they could have made this match in a more positive light? And
I don't know.
The only way I could think is Kurt Angle doesn't choose Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin takes out Kurt Angle and no longer gives him a choice. So it's like that's the only... I think it makes both of them look bad that Kurt Angle chose Baron Corbin as his last opponent, because it's... Of all the people you could have picked, of all the great wrestlers that you could have picked, you're going up against Chad Gable. Okay, you went up against Apollo Crews. You're probably going to go up against Shelton Benjamin within the next 2 weeks. Okay, you could have chose anybody who's actually on your level to go out and have a great WrestleMania match with. You chose Baron Corbin. It's like you don't even care about putting on a good show for the fans before you go, because you know that they don't. So in my eyes, the way that they made this match makes both men look bad, because you know that the crowd isn't gonna like anything to do with Baron Corbin. He's got to get off my TV heat.
There's only one way I can see if they play it straight. There's only one way I can see it having a satisfying conclusion, and that is you double down on everything. If we're really going to get Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin, just go in there, give him like 15 minutes, have him absolutely tear it up, and use this match to not only quietly retire Kurt Angle, but also use it to take Baron Corbin up to the next level. Make him from just having go-away heat to being an all-time classic villain, saying, yeah, I'm the one who put away Kurt Angle for good. I retired the Olympic gold medalist. And
you want to take this one?
And not for nothing, even if I don't believe in Baron Corbin, I do believe in the capacity for Kurt Angle to have one last match to make him look like $1 million.
I don't.
One last time.
The only way I ever could have agreed with that is if Baron Corbin was booked to look strong from the moment he was made as general manager of Raw to today. Like, the way I've looked at it is, honestly, through fantasy booking. Because the way I put it is to actually have Baron Corbin already put to that level, to the point where he already has the go away heat gone already. He would be establish himself as a top heel who's one thing, actually winning matches. Not losing to people like Apollo Crews. Not losing constantly. Pretty much being made to look like a complete and utter fool. And the only way for this to really have worked is Instead of having a Kurt Angle farewell tour, have it so once Baron Corbin is no longer Raw general manager, they got rid of the general manager Angle, and now it's back to the Authority. You have Kurt Angle come back as a wrestler, but have them actually have a legit rivalry.
If they had the Baron Corbin that around the time of when he won the Money in the Bank, before he got made to look like a fool, like by Jinder Mahal and John Cena, because the WWE didn't like his tweeting style. If it was around that time, I would have had no problem with what you just said.
And no, but keep it going. Keep it going. You build onto that. Have him lose the Money in the Bank, okay, but still pretty much pull a sand out. Have him be actually in a legit match, and then if you wanted to have Cena cost him, then Cena cost him, and have them have a rivalry, and then have Baron Corbin and John Cena pretty much keep building on his stock instead of putting on shitty matches, which Baron Corbin is well known of having shitty matches. So it's once again just being booked to the point where they actually would have a legit feud going. You keep Baron Corbin and his lackeys of Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre continuing looking strong, and Kurt Angle keeps trying to be that thorn. That's like, Baron Corbin is a disease. He has to disappear. And I'm the one who can do this. Have it be to the point where it all leads to WrestleMania, and have Baron Corbin pretty much pull a Triple H and Mick Foley story. I want your career on the line. Instead of a Kurt Angle getting a farewell tour, which, okay, he's going to choose his final opponent. So you're going to choose a guy who was made to look like a complete ass with his Money in the Bank win, who keeps being made to look like an ass in front of the Authority, hence why they brought the Authority back and got rid of general managers, even at the cost of Paige, who was a great general manager. And just he keeps losing, and now to the point where he's losing to Apollo Crews, someone I respect as a wrestler, but has no real credibility. So, and
instead of what you think this is gonna do, which could what your booking idea was to have Baron Corbin was to be able to upgrade Baron Corbin.
I never said it was my ideal booking situation. I said it's one possibility they had. One possibility,
which
not
is
likely,
not
a likely one, but one possibility that something good could come of this whole turn of events.
Not gonna happen. Because the way that they're booking Baron Corbin going into this, okay, the way they're booking Kurt Angle going into this, it's going to be an exhibition match. Kurt Angle's going to win at 6 minutes, and then we're going to move on.
The only way I can really see this working is your initial fantasy booking of WrestleMania, him beating Corbin within minutes, and then you get John Cena coming out saying, "You don't want to end your career like that. You want to have something. You want to have a match worthy of your talents." And so come full circle. That's the only way I could see this working. Because like what he said, I can't see Baron Corbin and Kurt Angle having a 10-15 minute match that could put him to another level, because he can never reach that level, because in all honesty, Corbin isn't that great of a wrestler to have a match of that quality.
Hey, just because the possibility existed doesn't mean I do think it's likely.
No, there was a possibility. They just basically burned that bridge a long time ago.
So it's either way, it doesn't seem very likely at all now.
Like he could have gotten that heel heat that you put on the guy who retired Kurt Angle. He could have had that.
But
maybe when he at the time when he was the initial winner of the Money in the Bank at that period, and then build on from that. Instead, there's build. Hey, look, there's Triple H. Kaboom. And
hey, what are you doing with that axe and shovel, Triple H?
He is right now, Jinder Mahal level, right now.
Yes.
To the point of irrelevance.
Yeah, so again, I'm going to stick by my original guess. I'm going to say...
That's the only way
there's
that can
gonna
redeem
expect
that.
a bait and switch when it comes time for WrestleMania.
That's the only way that they can actually make it work.
Speaking of making it work, we also had a little bit of a development from good old Ronda Rousey.
Someone else that Becky Lynch can make tap out at WrestleMania. Imagine if she makes both Ronda Rousey and her husband tap at WrestleMania.
Somehow I doubt she's going to make Travis Brown tap.
I doubt it too.
But imagine. That's it.
Okay, now who's fantasy booking?
I'm just saying.
So there's
a reason that Travis Brown was bought in, and it wasn't just to take out a security guard. That's it. So what is the plan here?
So far, I've only seen one suggestion from Bully Ray, good old Bully, that he proposed the idea of having a manager in every corner. For Ronda, have Travis Brown. For Charlotte, bring in Ric Flair. And for some reason, for Becky, they bring in Conor McGregor.
It's not going to happen. It's with only 2 weeks. I don't know, man. Hey,
and to bring Ric Flair
again, not likely.
Bring Ric Flair in, someone loved in the wrestling community, managing the heel daughter.
You're telling me about fantasy booking. Let's talk about Bully Ray, man. Hey, you want to talk about fantasy booking? That's the ultimate.
You want to talk about fantasy booking? I have to admit, the idea of Baron Corbin and Kurt Angle stepping up and going 15 minutes, his idea first too.
Good.
You want to call me an optimist? Bully Ray is like the king of optimists right now.
But we've always known that about both of you. So that's
I'll take credit for what I say and only what I say. This one's not on me.
The only fantasy booking, managerial-wise, that I actually see happening is Vince McMahon being in Shane's corner and Mrs. Dad being in Mrs. corner.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
That's the only way I can see that.
Ms. Dad gets to punch Vince McMahon.
Oh, better yet, Vince gets involved in this match. Vince McMahon gets involved in the triple threat for the women's title, and Vince McMahon gets involved in the WWE title match. He gets beat up by everybody.
Yeah. We don't want to just put Vince all over the show.
He'll be like, no chance.
We don't want it.
He'll be like, no chance. Skull crushing in the finale. Later on, it comes out. No chance. Gets put in a disarmor, taps out. Later on in the show, no chance. Comes out, gets just trouble in paradise right in the face, and has a seizure. I'm a real American.
It's a 70-year-old man.
No chance. Kicked in the face. No chance. Dropped on his head. No chance. Breaks his arm.
No chance. Yeah. Kevin Owens rebuts his head.
No chance. Has a seizure. No chance. Blows his legs out. No chance.
Blows up in his limo.
Again. No chance.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about no chance.
It's been 12 years. Think we could get away with it again? That's it.
It's like, it's been 12 years. Can we write me off again? I don't want to be on TV anymore, damn it.
Can we write me off again? Nobody do any dumb shit tomorrow. Nobody. Don't do it.
No one smile as I walk backstage to my limo, possibly blowing up.
Just quietly walks away, has a serene look on his face, gets into a brand new limo, quietly shuts the door. Nothing happens.
But just
drives away. Later on in the show, goes down the block at a stoplight. Then you get no chance. Boom.
And then you just have Ron Simmons walk past the explosion.
Damn.
And then next week it's revealed that it was Rikishi and he did it for The Rock.
Again.
He did it for the people.
The Rock's just walks by like, I don't even work here anymore.
And the New Day just walk past, shrug, and eat pancakes as Kofi Kingston shines up his new title belt.
And then all of a sudden you just start seeing shiny shoes walk towards the wreckage. It's Cody Rhodes.
Better late than never.
Talk about fantasy booking.
But you know what? We're having fun, aren't we?
It's only smoke and mirrors.
Mirrors. No chance.
Boom.
Meanwhile, speaking of no chance, we also had another little promo from our favorite Guardian of the Galaxy, Batista.
I liked his throne.
Personally, I found it a little... I felt like something was lacking from this.
I actually liked it a lot. It was a work shoot, and it just he explained that Triple H surrounding himself and some people that makes him look better. He was holding him down, and once he finally left the company, he actually became a star. Which, yes, he did. He's Drax the Destroyer. He's
Getting that Marvel money.
Who was he in the James Bond movie?
Hinks.
He's pretty. Yeah, he has worked his way from the ground up, from independent movies and just WWE films. Wait, was he in WWE films?
Yes.
Yes, he was in WWE films.
I would not know.
From and what was that one movie? Man in the Iron Claw or something?
It's something like that.
Man with the Iron Fist?
Yeah,
Was that
that was more likely.
Yeah.
He was in
I
one.
still want to see those movies. I keep forgetting about them.
But the content of the promo
Was brilliant.
was amazing. The timing was a little.
I think that's what bothered
at the
me.
ending. It was the meat of the promo was timed well. The content was good, and then the ending just kind of
Ended.
I'm gonna end his in-ring career. Interview over. Get out of my home. Get out. I was like, you could have timed those out a little better.
I think that did not sit well with me.
I was like, whoa, that ended quick.
Yeah, the ending was a little bit jarring for me, but
I had no problems with it. I actually want. I'm like,
I still think it's
This
great.
works.
It
This
was a
works.
good promo. It was great. The content was good. Just the timing of the ending could have been a little bit better. I'm not saying it threw it off or anything. I was just like, oh, well, that ended a little quicker. Okay.
But yeah, our boy Batista, this rolls on. I'm still interested. But meanwhile, there was a lot more to look forward to, in my opinion, on SmackDown Live. And of course, I'm talking about Kofi's Gauntlet match. I love this.
Roll Up King. The Roll Up King, Kofi Kingston.
a lot of roll-ups. In this.
Well, it makes sense for... I mean, if you're going to deliberately out-wrestle 5 guys and hit them all with Trouble in Paradise and just... You can't do that with every single guy. It makes sense that you're going to have to do some sneaky roll-ups in order to make it out alive, essentially. And that's
Which
exactly
he barely
what he did.
He barely.
Because every time he beat somebody, they beat the shit out of him at the end of the match.
Especially Rowan.
Before the gauntlet, because
Rowan destroyed him.
Sheamus and Cesaro took him out. Then Rowan just said, fuck it, I'm going to get DQ'd and beat the shit out of you at the end of the match anyway. He rolls up Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe chokes him out. And then he rolls up Randy Orton with 10 minutes left in the show. So you know some shenanigans are about to go down.
When it came to the Randy Orton, I like the callback to stupid. Like, I'm glad that it's Randy that's the final guy he has to overcome.
Talking about full circle.
Exactly.
It was delightful.
But with 10 minutes left in the show, you knew shenanigans were about to go down. And when he won with 10 minutes left, I'm like, he's not going to WrestleMania tonight. It's not happening.
And then at that point, no chance.
No.
You'll go to WrestleMania.
You'll go to WrestleMania if you defeat this man. And out comes Daniel Bryan. 4-minute match. Gets the running knee.
That's the stomp that he did was brutal.
I've seen him do that before, and
It's still
he's
just.
masterful
Let's see,
at
he's done it to AJ Styles. Let's see, who else has he done it to? Did he do it to Mustafa Ali?
I think he may have.
Yeah, in the one match that got that, I think got him the high rank of like, oh yeah, this guy could be a main eventer. But those kicks are just they're hard to watch.
Yes, but even so, I also trust and know Daniel Bryan has the expertise to do it right and just make it look like, ugh.
Exactly.
So Daniel Bryan gets the pin, 1, 2, 3, and Kofi Kingston does not go to WrestleMania this week.
Yes.
However, I think what's going to happen next week with all the stuff going on with the McMahons and all that, I think the entire face roster of SmackDown is going to stage a walkout, a protest, and all that. And that's how Kofi is going to get his title match. That is how, if Vince McMahon does end up with Shane McMahon or whatever, that's going to be part of that whole thing. You're going to have, because all the face superstars of SmackDown that have been texting Kofi and all that, you have the New Day already saying they're quitting. That's it on Twitter. You're getting a bunch of backup tweets from face members of the roster. I can see something like that going down at WrestleMania or at SmackDown in the next couple weeks, maybe this one, and then Vince McMahon, what'll it take for you to come back and do your jobs? And they're gonna have a list of demands.
Bring back the WWE ice cream bars.
Please.
Look at that, I just made you $1 million in ice cream sales.
You know what? If anyone could do that, the New Day probably would.
Yeah, right.
So
they've sold Bootios.
So that's something to look forward to.
$30, yeah.
And people bought them.
Or $15. For two of them, 30. Yeah. If you want one sign and one actually eat.
People bought them.
Yeah.
It can happen.
People are silly.
Hey, if it ends up bringing back the ice cream bars, I don't really care. But either way, I'm still very much interested. This honestly was the highlight of this week in wrestling for me. I love a good gauntlet match, and this one absolutely delivered.
Random United States title announcement for WrestleMania. Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio.
I hope Andrade gets added to this. I don't want him just to be thrown in the Andre Memorial Battle Royal.
But maybe if he does get thrown in, he wins. That's it. That's it.
Stranger things have happened. And
I'm not talking about the United States title match. I'm talking about the Battle Royal.
I know. Stranger things have happened.
I wasn't sure if he was on that wavelength.
I don't know. Now that you have Braun Strowman in that Battle Royal.
Oh, boy.
The second he announced that he's in, I'm like, well, that just made this prediction easy.
Yeah.
At first, I was like, okay, if Mustafa Ali doesn't have a match at WrestleMania, he's winning it. Oh, Braun's announced it? Oh, never mind.
Never mind that.
I take that comment back. Oh, boy.
Oh, yes. Any other thoughts on this past week in SmackDown?
Miz cut the face promo of his life.
I was surprisingly enthralled by this. I don't remember the last time I saw a face Miz promo like this.
There's never been a good face Miz promo. Every good Miz promo has been as a heel. Every great Miz promo has been as a heel until now, because holy shit.
This was a very good promo. This is a promo that actually is well deserved. This is the most natural face turn.
It gave me
his first face turn. It was forced.
Oh, easily.
This one was definitely natural, and he definitely has the crowd naturally cheering for him. They want him to succeed. That is the working of a great babyface.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me proof that we had never had before that Miz could work babyface, and it worked.
And especially against a heel Shane McMahon.
It gave me proof that this could happen, and it could turn out amazingly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, kudos, great job, and after that promo, Miz is winning.
Naturally.
Better, best in the world over here. Who knows?
Miz has got this, but again, even though the ending may be fairly obvious, this is going to be one of those matches where it's not about the destination; it's going to be about the journey. And
the
Miz
journey
has
for
this
the last
all hooked up for the entire stretch of the ride.
For the last ever since the last Saudi Arabia show, okay, I've had a feeling it was going to be Miz versus McMahon with the whole tag team thing, and the journey has been pretty good up until Fastlane, and then they kicked it into another level. Just did not expect that. What happened at Fastlane. Did not expect the level of animosity to come out of Shane McMahon the way that it did. And it brought this feud to another level where it's like, okay, this was maybe like something that I might have been looking forward to a little bit, but now it's like one of the things I want to see the most on the show, just from the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, the build of this feud has been fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially, I was just sort of lukewarm on it, I'll be honest with you, until this promo. And now, you got me, Miz. I'm absolutely on board. But now, the ultimate question, Raw versus SmackDown Live, which one, in your opinion, was the better show, and why?
Oh, I'm going first? All right.
Why not the champ?
Why not the champ, indeed? Well, I think it's obviously a no-brainer, which is the better show this week. And it's really gone down to which show is doing the better job at building your matches for WrestleMania, and that is SmackDown. When it comes to basically building not just Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan, but you have Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio with now the addition of Dominic, of all people. The possible storyline going in with the Iconics being added to this women's tag team title match, which after this match that on SmackDown, I'm kind of not for. Again, it was a very sloppy match. I'm not very keen on it, but comparing both shows, a lot of people are more invested in the SmackDown side than on the Raw side. I mean, if you look on the Raw side, it's Seth Rollins pretty much holding an entire feud by himself with now the one appearance from Brock Lesnar. Who knows if he's going to show up next week. Drew McIntyre challenges Roman Reigns. We're going to get an answer next week, and that's a 2-week build-up. The Intercontinental Championship match, who knows what the hell's going on with that, because after this tag team title match, only Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley, the two big guys of the match, were made to actually look like stars, while Lio Rush and Finn Balor were made to look like crap. So, yeah, that's crap all on its own. This Intercontinental Championship's not even really being a relevant factor in this storyline, which that's my reaction to that. And Ricochet being booked to look like a bitch to Jinder Mahal just to do that 80% match, Jinder, 20% Ricochet for the win. Lame. Let's see, what else? There was just there's really nothing on Raw that is getting you invested other than Ronda Rousey and Batista, and then you add the whole Kurt Angle announcing Baron Corbin. That's just the straw that broke the camel's back. On how terrible the Raw side of WrestleMania is being booked.
Yeah, this, as far as I'm concerned, there's one thing and one thing only made me look in a direction that said, yeah, SmackDown is the better show. And that, again, is the gauntlet match. This one, I love a good gauntlet match, and Kofi and company absolutely delivered. It won the week for me by far.
I'll put it to you this way. Okay, SmackDown, fully locked in to everything they're doing right now. Everything. I want to see everything that they've got going on that show. Raw, I could care less if I watch it every week. That's how the build up to Fastlane, like, I was locked into Raw. Mm-hmm. Raw was good up through Fastlane. Like, there was stuff to watch every week. I was giving Raw a lot of props in the Raw versus SmackDown every week. Ever since Fastlane, the two Raws have been horrific. They've been really bad. They've been hard to sit through. And on the other hand, SmackDown, you're locked in for the entire 2 hours. You might be like, oh, I don't think that was good. You're still locked into it. So that's how I give it. It's easy. It's across the board. SmackDown wins.
There you go. You heard it here first. SmackDown wins, but then again, knowing the way SmackDown's been, I don't think I or anyone here is the first to tell you that. But anyway, you've already heard what we think. Now is the time in the show where we turn it over to you, our wrestling fan, universe, audience, people, and folk. So, of course, let us know what you think. If you're joining us on YouTube, leave a comment. If you're joining us on Facebook, just run a search for the Scholars of Wrestling Show. Throw up a like and throw up your opinion. It's delicious. And, of course, if you want to join in the conversation on a more one-on-one manner, you can check us out on our Twitter machines, starting with our main account at ScholarsOW for all the latest wrestling and episode uploads. And you can also check us out on our personal Twitter accounts. Fool, where can I reach you?
You can reach me at the Avatar.
And Poisoner of Dreams.
You can find me not taunting my fellow scholars with pictures of Clorox at Atomic Beanpole.
And you can find me at I'm Robbie Rage. I like to live tweet shows every once in a while, presumably when I'm not barfing over a toilet because someone poisoned me with bleach.
Still don't know what you're talking about.
Of course you don't.
You guys gotta behave. You guys are having the show all by yourself. I gotta prepare for my defending this beautiful title for WrestleMania. So, you two, get along. You, stop poisoning people. You, work up your immune system, man.
I'm trying.
Build up an immunity to iocane powder.
I have built up the immunity to iocane powder. It's bleach that I have to worry about. But anyway...
What do you think you've been drinking for most of the night?
I have no idea what you're talking about. You know who we are. I know what this is. You know who we are. We're the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled and poisoned. You're welcome. See you all next week.
Doing whatever you can to be on top of the mountain, Brian. You sicken me.